F you money, make as much money as you damn well want, and live your life as you damn well please. Part 1, The F You Money Lifestyle. Why should you read this book? You should read this book to learn how to achieve enough money to never look at a price tag again, to be able to hand a homeless person $100 anytime you want. F You Money is an expression, a metaphor for financial freedom, zero stress, and a debt-free life. You might tell yourself that there are plenty of books out there that talk about finance and how to become rich, but the truth is, most of these books are garbage. A huge selection of them talk about wealth, and their authors are not even rich. Another huge group of these books, well, their authors are actually rich, but they were born with a golden spoon in their mouth. They either inherited that money from their family or were already rich when they were young. So, what makes this book different? The author of this book started from zero. He had nothing and came to the US without even knowing how to speak English. Now he has turned himself into a multimillionaire. What is F You Money? It means you can travel the world, start learning new languages, hire people with that money to do the things that you would rather not do in order to be able to work on your hobbies or skills. F You Money basically means freedom. When is enough? Enough. If you treat money as a drug, you're most likely going to become an addict. Never let your pursuit of money ruin your family life. It's a trap. You'll never have enough. To avoid this, you need to make as much money as you want, while at the same time living your life the way you want to. Care about freedom, not money. Money is important, but only because it gives you freedom. If you find yourself making lots of money, but are stuck in a dead-end job and are not feeling free, you're walking the wrong path, my friend. How to live your life as a Hollywood star even if you're not famous or wealthy. A friend of the author is a very successful businessman. He owns 8 luxury cars, and he built an entire garage for them. The thing is, he doesn't have time to drive them. Most of these cars have less than 5,000 kilometers on them. He's wealthy, but is he free? No. To be free, you need to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, and that requires money. That's why, while money is not the main goal you should be pursuing, it's an important step to freedom. That's how you can live like a Hollywood star, by being free. Stay tuned and more will be explained in the following topic. To hit a target, you have to see it first. You have to begin by setting your goals and figuring out what you actually want. Don't just say, I need to make $1 million. Stop being vague, specify exactly what you want. Make a list that describes the materialistic things that you want, things that you often think about, things that make you tick. Then, list their cost, and then answer a simple question. What does your annual income need to be able to buy those things? You have 2 ways to achieve this. The first one is the slow way. It's done by accumulating a small amount of money over time, so that by the time you retire, you have a large amount of money. Say you have a $10 million net worth by the time you retire. With an annual income of 10%, which is $1 million, take out 35% of taxes, and you're left with $650,000 to do whatever the hell you want to do. However, this is assuming you have a net worth of $10 million by the time you retire. And most people don't even come close to that number. Most will only have $1 million, which would generate $65,000 a year, which is not enough for a family to live comfortably. The other way is the fast way, and this is what the author chose. The trick is to create an automated income that pays for the lifestyle you want to live. In other words, if you quit today, your automated income will completely cover your lifestyle expenses. For example, let's say you made a website that sells a product. You sell this product for $200 with a profit of $100. Let's say your desired lifestyle would cost you $2 million a year. Let's divide that by 365 days. This will result in $5,479 that you need to make per day. To do that, you'd have to make about 55 sales per day, which is achievable. It doesn't look impossible, it's fast, and you're in control of how much money you make and how quickly. The fast way is the way we are going to focus on. Part 2, the F You Money myths. 1, money can't buy happiness. Well, the thing is, this is bullshit. If you think money can't buy happiness, it only means that you have no idea where to shop. Money gives you freedom. Money gives you power and control. The author had a life-changing phone call. He was asleep when his phone rang, and his aunt told him that his father had just had a stroke, and that he's now in the hospital to have surgery. She had to end the call, and then called him back 7 hours later, telling him that his dad was fine, and asked him if he wanted to fly back to his dad and visit him. Unfortunately, the author didn't have enough money to do that. He was barely surviving, and he was in debt. At that moment, he decided that he was no longer going to be controlled by money. He would not let money decide what he can and can't do. Money may not be the most important thing in life, but it sure as hell is important. Look at poor countries that don't have enough money. What do you see? I'll tell you, more crimes are being committed, more diseases, and more suffering in general. 2. Rich people are assholes. This is what the media wants you to believe, to make you feel better about yourself. Well, guess what? Don't believe everything the media says. Yes, there are rich people who are assholes, but it has nothing to do with their wealth. It's just their personality. There are poor people who are assholes too. Bill Gates, for example, is the wealthiest person on earth. Do you know how much Bill Gates gives away to charity? He gives billions of dollars of his net worth. I dare you to find someone more charitable than Gates, other than Warren Buffett, who gives a whopping 97% of his net worth. Yet people still judge them and justify why these people donate to charity, saying that they're rich, they should give their money away. Let me stop you right here. What has the poor given to society? Nothing. Because they can't afford it. Money doesn't change who you are. It's just a piece of paper that has no control over your personality. There's this story about a man approaching a woman in a bar. He asks her, "Would you sleep with me for $1?" The woman got angry and told him, "Definitely not." He then asked her, "Would you sleep with me for $1 million?" To which she replied, "Yes, I would." He went on to tell her, "How about $20?" She got angry again and told him, "Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am?" He replied, "We've already settled on what kind of woman you are. We're just negotiating the price." 3. You can afford to wait. The problem is we always think we have time. The truth is we don't. For 20 years of your life, you're still a kid living with your parents. You don't really have many choices at that time. That's 20 years of life gone. Now you have 50 years of life remaining, assuming you're going to live for 70 years. 1/3 of these 50 years will be wasted on sleeping. Another 1/3 is spent on entertainment, watching TV, commuting, etc. So in other words, you're really only left with 10 to 15 years, which is not enough if you're planning on waiting. 4. You have to be lucky and a cheapskate. Lotteries. Lotteries are the stupidest thing that has ever been invented. They are basically a magnet for lazy and stupid people, and this is much worse than being broke. Look at all these people who won the lottery. How many of them are still rich? Almost none. Why? Because they have lots of money, but they're not actually rich. They never learned how to keep that money, so no matter how much it is, it's going to be lost sooner or later, and they will go broke. It's always easier to make more money than to spend less of it. To hell with living within a budget. Spend your money. What are you even saving for? A friend of the author had some problems with money and struggled every month to pay their bills. They went to a financial workshop, and the so-called expert told them that the only way they could survive was by limiting their expenses and spending less money. His friend couldn't do that. He didn't like the idea of being cheap for the rest of his life. He couldn't decide what he had to do. One day, one of his restaurant customers had a conversation with him, and that customer gave him an audio tape that changed his life. The audio tape was about a marketing expert that had a new strategy that could help attract customers. He listened to that tape more than 10 times as he was amazed by that new info. Today, after 3 years, they own one of the most successful restaurants in their town. Part 3. The FU Money Mindset. Are you destined to make FU money? Not everyone can make FU money. It's only possible for people who think and act differently than everybody else. However, if you're not one of these people who can make that FU money, then don't be offended. It's okay. It's not for the average people who stay at their average job and don't do anything weird or risky to make their FU money. Not everyone is meant to make that money, but if you really want to make FU money, you need to be fully committed. People keep giving me advice. Should I listen to them? No. Stop listening to what the world has to tell you because it's usually full of crap. Nobody wants you to succeed, and nobody will ever support you if you decided to quit your job and start your own business. Don't listen to them. If your brother or friend wanted to give you advice about making money, listen to them to be polite, but don't act on it. Just toss it out the window. My life stinks. Who should I blame? Yourself. If your life sucks, you're the only one to blame. A friend of the author called him one day and asked him for help because his business was falling. The author replied, "If your business sucks, it's because you suck as a businessman." He then asked him if there are other businesses in the same industry as him, and if they were blooming, to which he answered with a yes. So, you're telling me that the other businesses who sell essentially the same product as you are blooming and their business is going great? Said the author. Well, yes, his friend answered. So that means that the problem here is you. There's something that you miss. There's a deficiency on your part, and until you admit that, you won't be able to solve the problem. I got it, thanks, Dan. What wouldn't you do for money? There's a TV show that's popular in the US called Fear Factor. The show is simply based on the idea of what people would and wouldn't do for money. You'd be shocked by the amount of disgusting, dehumanizing, and dangerous things that people are willing to do to win money. That's what I'm talking about here. You need to establish the line between the things you're willing to do and the things you would never do for money. It's liberating to know where you stand. And let me clarify this. The author is not talking about deciding to do something illegal or immoral for money. Ask yourself, how badly do you want that money? How far are you willing to go? Plan it out. Figure out the thing that you want to invest in to make that money. Figure out if you know about the career. If you don't, you need to know how much you're willing to spend to learn about it. In other words, know what you would and wouldn't do for money. But I don't have enough money to start. I have so many worries about this. I'm not really sure this is what I want. That makes sense. Oh no, it doesn't. This is bullshit. You'll always find an excuse to not make money. There will always be that thing that you think is holding you back. The truth is, you can't make money and excuses at the same time. You have to choose one and only one. If your choice was excuses, good luck with being broke for the rest of your life. What's D.I.G? D.I.G is daily income goal. Most people have a general income goal, like they want to make $100,000 or $1 million. Whatever it is, this is not what the author does. He has a yearly goal, a monthly goal, and even a weekly goal. But what he focuses on the most is his daily income goal. For instance, imagine you want to make an extra $1,500 a month. Divide this by 30 days and you get $50 per day. So when you wake up, ask yourself, what are you going to do today to make those extra $50? How would that help me more than just having a monthly income goal or a weekly income goal? When you have a D.I.G, you make it easier to correct yourself when you take a wrong step, because if you don't achieve your D.I.G, then you won't reach your weekly income goal, and definitely not your monthly income goal. So instead of waiting until the end of the month to realize that you messed up, why not realize it earlier on and correct it as soon as possible? Part 4. The FU money business. What's the reason why people never make their FU money? It's because most people want to jump in and get rich quick without doing much work. They respond to all the ads about making money from home. They bought magazines to help them reach their goals. The problem with this is that it's just like when people want to lose weight. They go and buy different gadgets, pills, and programs to help them lose weight. While the truth is, losing weight is much simpler than you can imagine. Just eat fewer calories and exercise more, but people refuse to make it simple. They want it to happen immediately, so they unconsciously complicate it. Take care. If someone approaches you and offers you a business that will make you lots of money without you having to do the work, it's a scam, like gambling. Why do people gamble? because they hope they will make lots of money by just playing a game, instead of working for their money. It's okay if you want to make money as quickly as possible. It's doable, but you have to work for it too. How can I make an extraordinary amount of money online, even if I'm just an ordinary person? There are 7 golden keys that can help you get there. It's important that you follow all of them. Golden key number 1. The market comes first. You can spend a huge amount of time, money, and effort on your product, only to discover that you're selling it to the wrong market, or even that there's no market for your product. So before you start, research your market and take time to learn about what people want. Make people feel understood. Golden key number 2. Create a user-friendly website that sells. So you have a great website that's trending and has a high rank among the greatest websites in the world, but your website doesn't sell. Then it doesn't matter. If you fail to turn your visitors into customers, then you failed entirely. Even if your website has millions of visitors daily. No matter how perfectly designed it is, your website has to sell. So design everything on your website from A to Z with that goal, to sell. Golden key number 3. Build a business, not a moneymaker. Moneymakers are good, but they don't last, and they certainly don't make you FU, money. Moneymakers don't build long-term wealth. On the other hand, a business has assets, products, and customers. Golden key number 4. Create multiple income sources in one business, not multiple completely different businesses. Simply saying, don't have all your eggs in one basket. The thing is, most people don't get it. Instead of creating multiple sources of income in one business, they start by trying to make money with 20 different businesses. This is a complete disaster. You should focus your sources of income into one business, because the more time you spend in that specific market, the more you'll learn and the more experienced you'll become. Golden key number 5. Leverage the time and resources of others. Time is limited, no matter what you do. Even if you were able to give up sleeping altogether, you wouldn't be able to work more than 24 hours per day. So what's the solution to that problem? Outsource. Use the time of others to your advantage. Use your time to do the things that are only valuable in your way of making the FU money, and pay others to do the things that are not important on your way to success. Golden key number 6. Use your personality to sell. Share your story. Share your success. People do business with people they like and trust. Don't be afraid to stand out. Don't blend in. Be entertaining. Golden key number 7. Position your business for automatic growth. Make money even when you're not working. Let's say you have a website that generates money for you when you work on it. Now we need it to automatically make money when you're not on it. Figure out the steps that you must take to make money out of it and invest in technology that can do that for you. Or hire someone and teach them those steps. And there you go. You have automatically generated money